to do a TA, first what you'll need to do is add into the burette 0.1 sodium hydroxide. On the top, the cap will say for TA. You need to leave this open so that it drains through and doesn't form any bubbles, and then you fill it so that you have at least like half full for a single TA. You'll let it settle for a little while and then read it a little later to find out what your initial levels are inside the burette. Then you need to use an earthenware flask and this pipette with that tiny tip. This pipette has reads 5 milliliters, which you can adjust by turning this knob up here, but it needs to read 500. And then you'll take your juice sample. You'll press down on this button, put it below the liquid level, draw up 5 mils. Sometimes they'll get stuck because it's too turbid, and there's little things that will plug up the entry. Once you have the 5 mils, then you'll need to put it inside the Erlen mask, press all the way to the second stop to completely empty the pipette. Then you'll take the distilled water and add to the Erlenmeyer flask until it reaches about 75 mils. That's to that hatch mark. Swirl it up and make sure you have all of it in place. Add 4 drops of phenolphthalein. And then you'll start to titrate. Generally, you can add about like 2.5 mils straight off the spot, but the first thing you want to do and not forget to do is to take your initial reading on the burette to find out what the liquid level is. And in this case, we have 6.55 milliliters. And you'll record that on a sheet of paper. You'll write 6.55. And then you'll add about 2 milliliters directly. Swirl so the pink goes away. And then start adding drop by drop until you hit an end point. Once you've reached a faint pink, then that's the end point. And then you take a reading on the burette for what the liquid level is, which is 14.20. You'll subtract 14.20 from 6.55, and that will give you 7.65 mils of sodium hydroxide. You'll multiply that by a factor of 1.5. And that will give you 11.475, which will round up to 11.5. And that is the TA. This is a really high TA, but this is also a sparkling wine. And so we expect the number to be a lot higher.